A complaint that I often get from employers that I'm recruiting for when we're discussing interview feedback about candidates of mine that have come in, one of the things that often crops up is a criticism of the candidate for a perception that they were being overly critical of their current or most recent employer. Where this often comes about is in that kind of conversation around why are you leaving? Why did you leave? Why do you want to leave? And suddenly it can feel to the new potential employer that there's this big sort of vent, this big sort of cathartic release of all the things that were absolutely rubbish about the current place that I'm working at, or the most recent boss that I had. Now, when I talk to candidates about it after the event, they're usually at pains to say, well, no, you know, there was context. They were asking me about what had happened. They wanted detail. They wanted, you know, a level of depth to my explanation. So I kind of had to share that with them. And look, I completely get both sides on this one. You know, yes, if you're asked lots of questions about why you want to leave and what was going wrong or what you didn't like, then it is pretty tricky to answer those correctly without giving a level of detail. And obviously as that detail builds, it can start to feel like this was quite a big topic that, you know, Mark didn't stop going on about how he couldn't bear his previous manager. It is difficult and it is a really fine line to tread, but it is vital, I think, that you prepare yourself well in advance for what you're going to say, and crucially perhaps how much you're prepared to say. There's nothing worse than it suddenly becoming this, as I say, this big kind of cathartic surge of information that's thrown at the interviewer, and even if it's all true, and I think this is the key point, even if it was true, and obviously you can't really prove it was true in an interview anyway, but even if it was true, it just feels really negative. It's a barrage of negativity, and it tends to reflect on their perception of you as a character. So how do you avoid it? You make sure you've done your cathartic release before. Get it all off your chest. If there's things that you want to say, make sure there's a third party that's safe that you can share all that with, so you're not sharing it in a detailed way in the interview. And just make sure that you're careful. Using humour is quite good. Have a bit of a wry chuckle, a wry smile at things that happen to you, so it doesn't feel like it's the biggest problem on earth. It's just something that, you know, it wasn't ideal, this is what happened, you know, I prefer to avoid that situation in the future, and then you keep it quite zipped. This is a classic one where less is more. The less you can say really on these kind of more negative topics, the better. So yeah, get your cathartic release out on somebody else. You know, your partner, a mate, a recruiter like me, that's absolutely fine. But don't do the big cathartic splurge on the hiring manager, because he or she, unfortunately, will just have that sense of, oh, you made me feel really negative. Okay, have fun with that.